Hello, hello. We're back, EA TV. This is the last day of Gamescom. We're from Victory Games, here to present you more C&C gameplay. I'm Matt Marcou, and joining me as always is my comrade, Jason Savopolos.
He got it right today, ladies and gentlemen. Yes, sir. Yesterday's mayhem and today's pleasure. I love it.
The slow clap.
Yes. So obviously, it's been really fun being here at Gamescom. And you know, we'll be here to the end with the fans here. We close at 6 tonight. And we'll be the final demoers of Gamescom, which is really nice.
Yeah. It's been a really cool experience so far. You know, we kicked off the show all the way back to Wednesday. I mean, it feels like an eternity ago, but it's just a couple days. Yeah. We kicked it off on Wednesday. We're closing out the show here on Sunday. It's kind of surreal, actually, to see everyone exiting the arena. You know, the whole convention center, all the halls were packed. And you know, I was walking in today and I saw people leaving for the first time, and I was like, what is going on? It really is the end here.
Yeah, it's been crazy in the halls. Today I did my first swim move with a bunch of people. You know, it's so crowded. I had to do the action
nice.
back and forth, you know, so I don't shoulder check.
Swim.
Yeah, so I don't shoulder check anybody, you know. You know, I try. So. But
hey, you know, whether or not you got to see the show, this is your last chance here to see some C&C gameplay. The halls are packed, but you know, we're going to the very end, bring you every last ounce of Gamescom here.
Yeah, definitely.
So, you know, I think one thing that we haven't been able to give people a lot of sense of is truly the space, the size of Gamescom, the sense of the lines that are going on here. You know, we're in this tight little box here with a lot of really cool demoers, but you don't really get the size of the demo and the space here. So I think we should reach out to Melonie here, who has had the fortune to swim around a little bit more in the ocean that is Gamescom. Melonie, are you there?
Hello everybody! I am so excited right now, but at the same time a little bit sad that it's the last day. My first time ever at Gamescom. I really couldn't have asked for a better experience. I'm just like, feel so honored that I was able to be here, and so much fun. But I wanted to show everybody a little bit about what the C&C booth was like for those of you at home, and now you get to experience it. So take a look at this video and get a nice little tour. Hey guys, Melonie Mac here, and I'm going to give you a very special tour of the Command & Conquer booth. As you can see, the line is massive. Everybody is super pumped to play, and rightfully so. You guys excited for Command & Conquer? Woohoo! Yes! Yeah! All right, look how huge this line is. It keeps wrapping around, and right over here we've got something very special. It's a tank! It's a freaking tank! This is the APA Warlord tank. It was created by a German tank enthusiast. It looks fantastic, like it came straight from the game, which is incredible. So we're gonna walk in here and show you what everybody gets to look at. This is it. This is the briefing room. The suspense. Suspense is crazy. Command & Conquer. This is where they get to see and be briefed before their glorious gameplay happens. This is the magic room. Right here we have our Command & Conquer gameplay stations. What's really cool about this is we have our faction-themed walls. We have our APA wall here, our EU wall over there, and of course, our GLA wall as well. It looks amazing. Everybody's all focused and excited to play, and that's what the huge line is for, and it's totally worth it because it's so much fun. So there you have it, the Command & Conquer booth. Thank you guys so much for watching.
Yeah, thanks for the look at the booth, Melonie. Like I said, there's a whole lot of things going on here at Gamescom, and you don't really get the sense of it until you're actually here, but we're doing our best to bring the action to you.
Yeah, I mean, just real quick, I mean, it gets thrashed every day, right, Matt? Like,
yeah.
There's pamphlets on the floor. It looks like a giant hurricane's walked through the place.
Exactly.
And it's just craziness all over. Beer caps, everything, right? So it's pretty wild.
Yeah, every day they open up beer gardens in the various halls as well. So it's a party in every sense of the word. But it's awesome because we get to experience, like, you know, games and a lot of kind of nerdy activities in that party. So.
Nerdy activities, yes.
Nerdy activities.
Nerdy
well,
it is.
We couldn't do this all without the fans, both the community who watch at home and all the community who came here. So we're actually dedicating this day to the community. You know, the previous 3 days we went over the gameplay of the specific factions, but this day is all about you guys. So we're going to be, we're obviously going to show some more gameplay because that's what you want. But the focus of today is going to be giving you an insight and showing you some of the cool stuff we did here with some of the community members who were able to make it.
Yeah, definitely. I definitely love the fact that they were all here. You got that feeling, that joy of why you're doing what you're doing, that sense of that fulfillment. So it was really an honor to be around them and see them firsthand.
Yeah.
And their reaction.
Yeah, I mean, we're all gamers too. Almost everyone on the team is like a really hardcore gamer. And I think we all grew up with that experience, right? At one point we were, I remember when I first played, Command & Conquer in high school, right? And being, my first time experiencing all those things and how cool it was to learn about developers and, maybe meet one in person. So, yeah, it's really fulfilling to kind of get to give back.
Yeah, it really is. And to mark his words and mine was Red Alert.
Yeah.
The Tesla coil resonated with me, and that was downhill from there. I was a fan ever since.
Downhill, more like
I guess uphill. Downhill as in I don't have to, climb the hill to get my interest. It was already there.
Gotcha. All right, well, the one thing we've heard people ask is we still have a score to settle, and it wouldn't go away, and I think we have to settle it here. So we are going to bring you guys the return match of Savop versus Melonie, and so you can get your last look at some gameplay here, and finally resolve which is the better C&C player at this time.
Yeah, after I lost that last time, it was very resonating on the boards, on the Twitch chat, on all chats in general, and it was definitely something that I felt was pretty painful to watch, So now I get to actually have the rematch that I've been wanting. It's been 5 days where I've marinated in my loss, so now it'll be awesome to see that I can actually do this.
It's on. It's happening.
She's already mad dogging me. I'm all nervous now. Jesus, her eyes look like she's gonna beat me.
I'm feeling good. I'm feeling pretty good.
So we're gonna jump in the gampplay here. I'm gonna commentate this return match. We're gonna have Savop and Melonie joining the game. I just want to make sure you guys meant to select these generals, right? You guys knew like immediately who to go to. I was a little surprised. Yeah. I was like, wow, there's been some practice going on or something here. Something is up. I have no idea what it is.
Yeah, and I'm putting my headphones halfway right now because I need to know all the alerts and audio in here. I do not want to be blamed for missing something in my base because they didn't have my headphones on. So I'm rocking with those right now because I can't miss a beat.
So, like I said, we're going to be bringing you two of our factions in this game. Melonie, on the left side of the desk, is playing the APA faction, the Asia Pacific Alliance. Savop is playing the GLA, Global Liberation Army. The generals they've picked are the Inferno General for the APA on Melonie's side, and Wild Dog, the Marauder General, on Savop's side. Overall, my kind of analysis of the matchup is we're probably going to see a lot of infantry on both sides, but who knows? Who knows how they're going to mix it up? Most likely, we're going to be following from Melonie's side. So what I'm going to do kind of in this early game, so I keep this fair for everyone, is kind of go over some of the basics here. So on Melonie's end, you see she's starting with a pretty standard strat. The APA faction only needs 5 harvesters to fully realize all of its gold. While if and when we do cut over to save outside, you'll see that the GLA faction needs 8 harvesters. The overall the cost is about the same to produce everything out. There's just small details in gameplay, but they can have a pretty significant impact depending on your preference and how you want to play. This map, I believe, is Red Zone. I actually missed the opening screen from the start, but I believe this is Red Zone. This is a very defensive map overall. So what is so defensive about it is that in order to actually get to your opponent's base, after crossing the long stretch of the map, you actually have to go up 2 ramps. So that's 2 choke points, 2 site advantages that you have before your opponent can get to you. Command & Conquer, for the uninitiated, is a real-time strategy game. In order to succeed at it, you need to have a balance of both micro and macro. Macro play being your ability to collect resources, your output essentially of your army. Micro is your ability to win tactical engagements by countering your opponent and using abilities in a way that nets you an advantage so that you lose fewer units. That's the goal ultimately. So what we have starting out here is on Melonie's screen, you see that like the circle in her mini-map. That is produced by the command center. So the command center is an essential part of the APA's army here. We have action off the get-go. Savop deciding to choose those terror technical units on the GLA side. You notice how fast they are. He's really leveraging those hit-and-run tactics to pick off one of Melonie's Red Guard infantry there. Melonie's going to be able to get a few shots off here, but it's like Savop is playing this opportunity really perfectly there. You see Melonie going back to check on her base, make sure she's still producing units. You know, she understands that, hey, you know, I have to pay attention to this engagement micro well so I don't lose too many units, but at the same time, I can't stop producing things. So that's the tricky balance you have to strike. You always have to be thinking about not only the battles that are in front of you, but what's going on at your base, what are you producing? Savop is undaunted here as he's going back in.
You know, I'm just trying to make sure I throw her off balance. This is the kind of gameplay I want to try to run. I'm trying to use as much health as I can on the technicals to escape, but I also at the same time do damage, right? I want to make sure that I'm safe on my setup so I can get into that next tier that I want. As you guys can probably guess, I'm going for that War Factory setup. I'm going for a quick expansion right now. I know Melody can see this because I don't have an actual setup on the command center, so she can see all my movements at this time, which is something that she is most likely going to use to her advantage. She has heavy infantry, so I'm still investing in technicals right now, making sure that I can counter it on the fly. I need to meet her in the middle of the battlefield though, so that way I can pick her off and still have that wiggle room to run. Otherwise, those technicals one-on-one will just fall flat, and they're a bigger investment money-wise.
Yeah, exactly. That's some insight from the man as he's playing right in front of you. Yeah, to one of his points, you know, it is not a bug, it is not an error that both Melonie and he, or both, I should say at this point, it's Melonie is able to see the buildings he is producing. That is a current, I guess, fog of war setup that we were testing out in this alpha build, where your buildings, not your units, not your movements, your buildings are revealed to the opponent through the fog of war. So you get a sense of what exactly they have structure-wise. That is part of our current testing with counterplay to see how a player reacts when they have a little bit more information. Now you do have the option, as we've said, to build the command center, and once you've built the command center, that obfuscates the fog of war, adds that kind of standard fog of war that is dark and cannot be penetrated, and after that point you have to rely heavily on scouting and player powers. We have Melonie feeling bold here, now rushing up Savop's ramps, picking off a worker there, picking off a couple more, now engaging against the Rabble squad there. Player power going down from Savop's side, but it misses a little bit as it's striking down there. Now Melonie gets blinded, more of those missiles dropping in on her. Her infantry there is really, really low. She's trying to do whatever damage she can, but her units are slowly falling, and it was a nice attempt there, Melonie. She managed to do some damage, impact Savop's economy a little bit. Overall, not sure if that was the most worthwhile attack, but yet again, it's going to keep Savop on his toes, keep him back a little bit. It's going to give Melonie some breathing room with her APA faction.
Yeah, the smart thing she did right there as well, she caught my my worker running down to go to some oil there, immediately flattened that guy real fast on that wave. So it was a little bit unfortunate on my timing. I didn't have that sight and vision on the map that I should. And right now I'm actually playing a little bit more towards her game because I made that mistake.
Gotcha, yeah. Right now both Melonie and Savop hanging back, biding their time. We saw some early aggression. Now they're focusing more on the strategy at hand, building a base, collecting up an army at this point. Both players spending their resources pretty effectively. Not gonna give away too much here for the sake of seeing some good gameplay here, but both of them seem to have a plan in mind. Once again, APA versus GLA faction here. Melonie in the red on the APA, Savop choosing the yellow GLA faction.
Yeah, so right now I need to see what she's doing, right? I have a good investment. I have scrap metal for all my vehicles, so you can obviously see that I need to make sure I stop whatever it is. Since I had to go back on the map, I couldn't push my own presence, so this is me making sure that I destroy what I can on her side, set her back a little bit on the setup, and then use my Marauder tank here to try to tackle these infantry guys as best as I can. As I see this going, I'm using Rebel infantry right now back at my base to make sure that I can actually handle this. I'm going to make sure that Marauder takes the last hit while my technicals escape. Don't want to engage on that. She has a huge force there. I'm just going to make sure that the oil derricks all on the right side of the map are not being used by her setup.
Yeah. That was some great scouting point there. It's even though it is a strategy game, it's real-time strategy, so you can't just sit back. You have to be constantly active. There's a couple elements in the new Command & Conquer that make it so you need to be consistently active. One is that there are oil derricks placed all over the map. Those are the yellow dots you see in the mini-map at those times. And those oil derricks you can place an oil derrick on that oil and collect more resources that ticks every few seconds. It's a cheaper way to get an economy boost, but it's also a little more risky because those oil derricks are not as cost efficient as building another base, and they're more easily destroyed. So it is a risk reward. If any of you tuned into some of the previous games, especially between our QA testers who were playing, Jason Kokol and Jimmy Tran, you notice that they were actually setting up turrets and doing whatever they could to fortify those oil derricks. There's only one resource in this game, one resource in the game. That is gold or money. You see that accumulating in the lower left corner above the mini-map. You can accumulate that through expansion points, your base expansion, your natural expansions, and two, those oil derricks.
So real quick, I'm planning something down here. I'm hoping that she takes the bait. I mean, she has a huge damn army. I can't really engage one-on-one, but I did invest in an upgrade. I want to see if this works, and it does, it connects. So that was the planning of the IED. That is an upgrade you can get for technicals to make it more useful mid-game, and it looks like she fell for the bait, so that way I can dwindle her down just a little bit more before I do my next engage.
Yeah, and overall, just to give you a sense for the strengths of the factions here. So the APA is kind of, I would say, your middle tier faction. They're not as beefy or powerful as the EU faction, pound for pound, but the GLA faction that Savo is playing is, how do I say it, fragile in a lot of ways. They're built for speed. They're kind of they scrap together. They're tanks. They're infantry. So everything about them is really scrappy, quick and easy to put together. However, does not withstand the brute force of the other two factions. So Savop needs to use those tactics with his GLA faction. He needs to plant those IEDs to surprise and be stealthy in his tactics. He was also, as you've seen, using a lot of hit-and-run tactics at the beginning of the game because he's not overall going to be able to withstand Melonie's army if it's the same size as his. And we have more action here. Melonie running up the map towards Savop, discovering his army, finds out that he has a lot of tanks, and her units are probably not going to be able to stand up until she gets more vehicle support. One of her vehicle supports coming in there. More player power is going down, more rockets landing, dealing damage as best they can. Melonie managing to eke out of there, just barely, losing some units, overall not getting the better of that engagement.
Whew, and I run into a really bad choke point with a bunch of flame soldiers that just blew away my technicals, not paying attention. It kind of sucks because I just lost my huge investment of 5 technicals that are my harassment force. So right now I'm going to have to park them and chill because right now I don't have that force to engage. I'm going to try to see if I can actually go ahead and use my main force right now and actually make something happen. I don't know if she has another expansion, so if she does, I might be in for a hurting surprise. So right now I'm hoping that I have enough vision on the map to make sure that I'm okay.
Yeah, that was pretty cool there to see back-to-back engagements. In an RTS game, very often you can find yourself in action in multiple places of the map, and whether you succeed or fail is often due to the choices that you make. Do you fight the right fight? Do you know when to give up because it's all's lost? Are there certain times where you don't need to micro your units as much because inherently they're more powerful there? So we saw Melonie kind of not really get baited, but she overextended herself, went right into Savop's jaws. But at the same time, Savop made a similar kind of misstep by running straight into Melonie's base. He thought that he had won that top engagement and maybe Melonie didn't have her army concentrated in the base anymore. He was wrong there, and that's really where scouting and kind of having an understanding of your opponent's army really comes into play.
Yeah, so right now I feel pretty good here. I don't see any kind of extra base on the map. I'm actually going to push my presence here a little bit because I know that she doesn't have the economy. She can't withstand this for too long. I just can't play her choke game right now and get myself into a bad engagement.
And Melonie's running up to meet Savop, engage him at that choke point. They're fighting from multiple angles there.
I'm going to use a blind real quick with a GPS scrambler. This makes it a little bit easier for her to connect with my units, forcing her to get close. I'm actually using my nitro boost at the moment to get the tanks up the ramp so that they're out of the way of my other guys. And then right now I'm going to use my level 2 mass RPG strike to clean up the rest there. And then I'm looking at what she has right now, and it looks like I'm making decent presence on the map, and it looks like I took out her expansion. So I'm going to push up to see what else she has. I'm doing this blind though, so it might not be a good ordeal. So I'm really just trying to make sure I play it safe, but also take the advantage if I have it.
Yeah, that was a great example of a multi-pronged attack, making sure you went the right way, take out a lot of those fire Inferno Squad infantry soldiers. Overall, those Inferno Squads not gonna be as effective against the tanks there. Savopolos is pulling out. Excuse me as I kind of slide over just to get a better look at Savopolos screen there. Yeah, those black market tanks are a good.
Actually, Marauders.
Oh, those are the Marauders.
Those are unique to him.
Those are unique. They replaced the black market tank?
Yes, they do.
There you go. So, like I said, in Command & Conquer, the general you select will influence what kind of units you get. Not all generals are created equal. They don't. How do I say it? They have strengths and weaknesses. Some are better at air, some are at infantry, some are at tanks. And those Marauder tanks are a variant of the standard GLA black market tank. And Savopolos kind of been using that to his advantage. And there we have it. GG. Savopolos exacts his revenge.
Oh boy.
You redeemed yourself. Now we have to have a rematch sometime.
I know, now it's actually
Best 2 out of 3.
1-1 there. That's the series.
Ooh, burn.
So I liked your harassment tactics. You caught me off guard as soon as I moved my technicals out of position. I actually had to bring them back.
Right.
If you struck at that point and got further into my mineral line of my expansion, I think it would have been a very different game.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, I was completely, as they would call, naked at my base. So yeah, unfortunately I had to bring everything back, and then by that time it was just enough. The player power literally helped me so much, so it was great to have.
Yeah.
So Melonie, do you have a newfound respect for Savopolos' Command & Conquer skills now?
Yeah, I see he knows what he's doing.
Woo!
He's got the skills.
Thank God. Man, I heard it all 5 days, all until this point right now.
You did. He really needed this.
Yeah, I was sweating. Oh man, I think I need another Red Bull. Right? You hear me? Oh God, it's crazy. So,
this message not officially endorsed by Red Bull. So, as I said, that's going to be our score. So that's the game for the day. Hope you guys enjoyed that. We want to give you a little bit more insight into kind of the feedback we've collected from the community themselves here at Gamescom. So we have a special treat for y'all. I guess, Melonie, you want to introduce the piece we have here?
We have a special gameplay piece?
No, we did.
Wait, we just did that.
We just did the gameplay piece. So.
It's this Twitter Q&A segment.
No, we're gonna. I'm getting trolled. Wow, I'm getting trolled here. Okay, so we had kind of a unique opportunity. So we brought. I don't know how many was it. Was it 30, Savopolos?
I would say probably more.
That was wonderful.
Yeah,
there it is.
There it is.
We were on a boat.
We, Victory Games, were on a boat, and we brought along 50 of our biggest Command & Conquer super fans to talk about the state of the game, get to understand their perceptions of our current game, what they like, what they don't like. Because as I said, we are still in an alpha state. What you see here is a fully realized game that's fun, but we want to make sure we go the extra mile to polish it, make sure the gameplay is solid, make sure it still maintains that fun, and ensure that we're going the right direction with all our generals too, because we're going to be constantly changing the face of the game every time we add a new general or add a new unit.
Yeah, it's very important to us, and to be honest, the community, you guys know who you are out there. We saw you, we met up with you, we had drinks together. It's extremely important, right? And it's extremely important to come from one sound and make sure that the whole community agrees on something, because sometimes they're split, but a lot of the times they battle each other and then they come to a good conclusion, like a marriage, and it feels good. It feels good.
That's the Reverend Savopolos, marrying community and game developers since, I don't know, what, 2007?
Yeah, I guess so. Yeah. Roughly around there.
Yeah.
Yeah, I've been around for a while. I've been around the block. been around the block.
So, you know, as I said, we want to kind of show you a little bit of how we incorporate this feedback. And like I said, we went on a boat cruise with our community and to talk about C&C and share some ideas. And we're going to show you a clip from that.
C&C Community on this awesome boat. They've known each other for so long on the forums and online. They've played games together, and now they're able to see each other in person, and they are super excited, I'm sure, and we're going to find out what they think. So what does it feel like to be here with all the C&C fans and the community who you've talked to online for so long, now here in person?
Honestly, I think it's amazing to actually get that chance to meet the developers, to meet everyone, to meet you, Melonie, actually. It's been a blessing, really.
Meeting the developers and how they've just kind of like, okay, this is how it is, this is what we're doing. They haven't really held back in any way.
It's very good to be here. It's a nice atmosphere, very constructive.
Well, it's kind of weird too. I mean, a lot of these people don't look at all like I imagined them. Well, the big presence webmasters, and then they're actually these tiny guys from time to time.
It's absolutely amazing to finally meet and see the voices and faces behind all of the people we've known online for so long. And especially with such an amazing venue with, frankly, what should hopefully be one of the best C&C games that has come out ever.
So there you have it. That's, you know, just one example of how we've been able to, you know, meet and greet with our fans, community members here at Gamescom. I think it's a really cool experience. It's not something you get to do every day, especially as someone who's not from Germany. Very cool.
Yeah, so the Rhine River, I thought that was the most relaxing thing that we did here at Gamescom. I mean, we've been running around. She's been diving through people, right? She's been getting photo opted everywhere, of course, right? And at the same time, for us, we never really got to enjoy as much as we wanted to of what Cologne has to offer. And so I think the Rhine River and the cruise actually brought us closer to that.
Yeah, that was really cool, really cool. So, you know, we've had the chance to interact with the live fans here. Want to continue the conversation with you guys online. We've been having some questions pour in via Twitter throughout the day, but this is your last chance basically to ask us whatever you like, whatever your heart desires. So please tweet to official C&C, that's the letter C, letter N, letter C. Tweet at official C&C with the hashtag Command and Conquer. That's what we're using to filter through these questions now. Like I said, this is your last chance. We're going to be taking questions here for, I don't know, we'll say like 5 to 10 minutes. We're going to see what we get in here. Also, for those of you on the Twitch chat, we're finally able to get that Twitch chat module working. If you have some actual respectful questions about what's going on, the troll is very strong with Twitch chat right now. But if you guys have some legitimate questions, we'll take a look at them and we'll answer them. You know, we want to show you guys some love too, but you have to be nice about it, please. Please. So, without further ado, we're going to take the initial questions that we have here.
All right.
And Melonie, take it away.
All right, let's see. Clearly Apathy wants to know, general challenge, is that possible? General's challenge. Will we see that?
I guess I'm answering that one. It's a hot topic of discussion right now. I cannot confirm anything at the moment. We are releasing later on in the next year, early 2014, the episodic missions, and that's going to be something that is going to be very similar to General's Challenge right off the bat. But as a specific General's Challenge, not at this time, but it's definitely something that the community loves to have, so we have a forum thread on that, and it's already been talked about in the office.
Cool, cool. And actually, amongst all the coal in the Twitch chat here, I actually see a legitimate question, so I think we should probably take it to encourage good behavior.
Yes, Fiddler112. Hello, Fiddler.
Hello, Fiddler.
Yes, he wants to know, is there an armor general for GLA?
You want me to take that one too?
Yeah, I don't know if I don't know if I have insight into that.
Currently, right now, no. The next one off the bat is going to be the GLA engineer. That one right now is the one that's on the walls that you guys saw here. And then also in some of the clips and the carousel images if you have the alpha unlocked. So that is definitely something that will have a new flavor to the GLA, but as of right now, the armored general, that is not there yet, but that's actually a great suggestion. If more of the community wants to do something like that, resonating a voice and liking to that will definitely show much better and actually give volume to what we should do for the next general. So.
Very cool, very cool.
All right, now please no, not there wants to know the release date for the game, and is it actually free to play?
So I'll take that one. So as I said, currently we are in a closed alpha state. We're hoping to move to a closed beta state where, as we've promised to get in anyone who purchased the Ultimate Collection, get that, activate their beta key and let them in as the first wave of people into the closed beta. Following that, we will be letting in kind of the registrations at commandandconquer.com, slowly letting in more and more people in the beta as we're testing this. And you know, that's our goal, is to kind of move in that process, which is more commonly found in the free-to-play model. Is the game free-to-play? Yes, absolutely. So when you download the game, you are given a base set of generals, so one general for every faction, and you are able to collect every general in the game simply by playing the game and earning victory points, which will allow you to unlock generals and other content.
Actually, I'm going to correct Matt here. It's command points. It's command
points.
Oh,
sorry.
The victory are the ones that we actually do that are for the real money.
Yeah, there are the two forms of currency. The command points, which is what you can earn through just playing the game, and the victory points, which is a paid currency that you can use to unlock cosmetic benefits and, you know, help support the game makers, right? Show us that, yeah, there are features that you do want.
Yeah, exactly.
All right, and Venom285 wants to know how he can get in the beta.
Matt, do you want to take that one, or shall I?
Well, yeah, I can take that. So right now I would say there's two ways. So for people who purchased the Ultimate Collection, we included a beta key in there. And so that, like I said, that's a key you take, you enter into the system. And once we're ready to open that wave, we open the beta to those who purchased that first. Afterwards, we have a second wave where you can register on commandandconquer.com for a beta key, and then we will then process that wave, be letting those users into the beta as well. So right now there's a little bit of a line, but we're going to get there.
Yeah. Now there is a 2.5 version, because you said there's two ways. There's a 2.5, which is the iPad people out in the front do the same thing, right?
Oh, at Gamescom here. Is there yeah. So maybe you should explain that. I didn't actually see that. If you're here at Gamescom, you have the chance to register.
Exactly what he said. To follow up, there are people outside in our line that actually have iPads, and if you go to them, they can actually sign you up for the beta as well if you wanted to be extremely optimized in your ways and setups.
Great. We're gonna hop back over. Thank you so much, Twitch chat, for asking some really good questions. We're gonna jump back quickly over to our Twitter feed and see what else we're getting here.
All right. Adam wants to know how many game modes we can expect to see.
So currently, right now, and what's going to be released fairly soon in the closed alpha, we currently have roughly. Sorry, I'm getting like hit from behind here. I thought I was gonna get tackled.
We have a tester group right now. We have a tester group who's evacuating right now, and yeah, we have some commotion here. But we're good. We're okay, everyone.
I'm okay. I was checking my wallet real quick. You know what I'm saying? So right now we have several game modes. One is the tournament 1v1 setup. We have 2v2 game mode as well, and then we have the 3v3. We have a skirmish AI setup on a 1-to-1 ratio, and then coming up right now, which is not accessible on the show floor, is actually a custom game matchup. That'll make it so that if you have a friend, you can actually go, you and him co-op together versus 4 AI, and so it'll be a little bit more to the relevance of a comp stomp. Same thing if you want to have an AI on your team, and then go head-to-head in a 2v2 with one real player and one AI. So it's really up to you on how you do that kind of game mode setup. So it's a mix and match there. So that's what we have so far.
All right, and Matthias wants to know, are we going to see a new original soundtrack?
Ooh, that is a great question.
I have been getting a lot of comments about the music of Command & Conquer because it seems there are fans over the kind of, how do I say it? It's kind of like a hard rocking riff. I don't know what better way to explain it, because I mean there's a diverse set of music, but it's just this really powerful, forceful, kind of military type music.
Yeah, for some reason, maybe it's the game that ties together, right? For some reason it has that like tingle up your spine. I totally agree with you guys, and maybe that is something that we bring back to the house, and be like, dude, we got to do this full-fledged. But at this time, I think there's some stuff that we're doing, but I don't know how much.
There is definitely new music. I mean, we've had a chance to listen to it. Clearly, when you're playing the demo here, you hear some new stuff. Right. We'll see how far down that we go. If we find that people are enjoying the music, I guess we should produce more. It sounds like a good idea.
Yeah, it really does.
All right, and Dave's 2HD from Twitch chat wants to know if there will be a random general option.
You know, that is actually really good. There has been talks about that, and I remember in our playtest we talked about it, Matt, as well, right?
Yeah.
So that is definitely something that we want to do. I don't think we've gotten to it yet, though, but a random general, I believe, is something that was talked about before, just haven't gotten to it yet.
Yeah, in our current build, and you know, we've pulled it up on the screen before. You can see when you select your when you're near the play button before you hit play, you have all the generals to select from. So currently, we do not have that random option, but you know, there are place and time for that. So that's some great feedback, and that's a takeaway that we'll bring to our playtest and see how that can be best utilized.
And Banbaji wants to know, will there be trophies to unlock? Achievements or trophies?
There are some achievements. There's roughly, I think, 5 at the time. We plan to add more. We are currently looking at how to best attack that. There are other things on the horizon that might tie in with those, some being game modes, some being generals, who knows, right? So I don't want to give too much away, but currently we do have an achievement system. That achievement system does have 5 achievements at this time, and then from there will be add-ins later on.
Yeah, and I think, I mean, another thing to talk to the crowd too is the single-player campaign mode, right? So, you know, anytime you have a single-player mode, it lends itself to like a form of achievements.
Right.
Once again, that is something that is coming next year. There's not a lot to talk about at this point because
Yes.
we just how do I say we're just going down that process a little bit further.
Yep.
But you know, for those who are single-player fans, you know, kind of back to those roots of Command and Conquer.
Right.
Clearly, there's going to be some options for you there.
And Gaji Cholaf wants to know, are you planning to support custom maps and custom game modes?
Yes, we are. And we kind of just started to do that. It's just nobody's really seen it yet. It's going to be activated very, very soon. And so that will definitely be happening where you can select the map type, and depending on the size of the map and the starting locations, you can choose how you want to line up that team setup.
And actually want to go back one question about achievements too. One thing I want to mention, you know, for competitive players who are not just satisfied by like a little number and a checkbox saying I did something, you know, we do plan to support community tournaments and see where that goes. See, you know, to support the competitive side about it. See, you know, what part of our player base wants to see more and more of that. And you know, we have the option to start working with the community and esports partners to give you the competitive action that you want. So, you know I would like to see each year a world champion for Command & Conquer. If you go further down, obviously, I'd love to see, you know, regional champions, US champions, German champions. So, like I said, you know, those are another type of achievements that are more exciting, I feel, to the competitive player like myself.
That sounds like a dream come true. So I would love to see that as well.
It's going to take everyone to make that dream come true.
Yeah.
And Venom285 has another great question here. He said, what are the super weapons beside the Scud Storm, and can multiple be built, or is it a 1 super weapon limit?
So it is a 1 super weapon limit in this situation. The Scud Storm has been modified for this rendition of C&C. Actually, every 2 minute, 2 minute, 4 minute, and then at the 6 minute mark, it has a different phase. So you can launch 2 Scud rockets, or 4, or 6 if you wait that long. So it's a small modification on that one there. The Orbital Collider is another one that is being used by the EU faction up there, and that one's actually a setup where it has like a laser beam and it has a focus setup, and it has like multiple rays that you can actually cast. And then the last one being the ultimate APA Asian setup, which is the nuke itself, right? We all know what that does, so yes.
And I'm actually seeing a whole bunch of people ask this. They want to know in terms of security, like if somebody is hacking or if somebody quits the game, what kind of punishment will be implemented and how will that be handled?
That's a good question. Matt, do you want to take that one, or
yeah,
shall
well,
I take a stab?
actually what was really interesting is on the community cruise there, we actually, 2 of the community members actually worked in some form of internet security. And that was some of their questions too. So I think it's really relevant. We talked to some security experts who are also Command & Conquer fans, and you know, they were giving us some insight into some of the things they're working on and how they think it would be awesome to apply to the game. I mean, overall, I think you can expect to see some form of behavior control. I mean, this is a live service. We will have a customer support. section. We will be monitoring the system and trying to figure out the best way to prevent hacks, etc. I think the one thing that will certainly help is the kind of the architecture of the game. Is a client-server architecture,
exactly.
Which goes, it goes a long way to preventing that, as compared to peer-to-peer, where all kinds of monkey business can occur. So I think that's kind of our initial step to security, and there are more that we will continue to take as the game grows and as we see what the common issues are.
Right.
I see probably the best question of the day by Raging Silver. He says, "Will Melonie Mac make an appearance as a general?" I'm working on it. Working on it.
I guess have any of our generals been any remotely inspired by people at Victory Games?
Some people argue Red Arrow looks similar to somebody on the art team. I won't say who. She'd hate me if I blurted her name and probably kill me when I got back, But there are some interesting similarities.
Yeah, I mean, I think, how do I say it? Art imitates life, so as game developers, you can't help but sample from what's in front of you.
Yep.
So, those are certainly those influences. Nothing directly. We've not taken any of us and put ourselves in the game. I guess it would be interesting. It's an interesting bridge across once we get to it, if we have some support for it.
Yeah.
I guess a Savop general and a Melonie Mac general.
I would love to know what her special ability would be. I would love to see what it is, as we come and create it. That'd be kind of cool. See what she has. Maybe it's a charm factor, and then all of a sudden you kind of woozy, you kind of lean on her side, boom, done, your guys are dead.
And just when we thought we had a leash on the Twitch chat, look what you did there.
Yeah. Sorry.
You just let it go. You let it go. Actually,
I was hoping for some mac and cheese cannons.
Mac and cheese. Wow, cross-sponsorship in the game. Wow. Going for the licensing.
You'd be the Red Bull general?
Yeah, sure, why not? I got wings, I'll be quick and fast.
All right.
Well, let's take just maybe one more question here. Let's find the best question we have there. Yeah, I think that's a great question.
Matthias asked a very interesting one. He said, "Why did you go with the grid building placement instead of the free building placement?"
And I don't know if he's referring to the generator build that we had at one point for the EU, or if he's talking about just the fact. I know you see the grids when you're placing.
Yeah. I think he's more talking about that, like the blueprint setup, similar to how when you place something, like where the collision is.
Okay.
So I'll take a stab at this one if you don't mind.
Sure, go take it.
So originally in the old CNCs, you pretty much had that sidebar set up. You could build and queue things up almost immediately, wait to drop them down until your opponent leaves your base, right? And you could drop them anywhere. Yes, I do remember that. We went with the grid setup for multiple reasons, right? We wanted to have that interesting gameplay where you can have choke points, and in those choke points, depending on how big that pathfinding setup is, how many squares would lead to better gameplay and more finesse. And so I think that's why we have chosen to do that. So it's a little bit tighter, a little bit more symmetrical, and then at the same time, a little bit more perfected than it was before.
Great. Well, guys, we got to wrap it up on the questions here. Really appreciate all these questions, especially on this last day. We want to take a little more time to answer them. Thank you, Twitch chat. I think we're gonna have to do this again sometime.
I think
it'd be really cool. One of the things we are planning to do. For those of you who know, we do have a Command & Conquer channel on Twitch. It's /Command & Conquer. We're starting to kind of upload this content. This is kind of our first foray into answering your questions in the format. And I think we should do more of it in the future. I'm really liking the feedback that we got here. So you guys have inspired us all, but please feel free to send us more feedback on the game, on the types of questions we're answering, the personalities here. If you want to say, Matt, you talk too much, I'll understand. Don't worry, you won't hurt my feelings. But we are almost done here at Gamescom. But before we go, we want to give you kind of a behind-the-scenes look at the Victory Games experience here at Gamescom.
All right, baby, it's showtime right now. This is it.
amazing game. My favorite part is when this giant nuke cannon comes down to the earth and then everything is bright and nothing lives anymore.
Yeah, I love it, really. So excited. The bombs and the tanks, it was just amazing.
Yeah, it was awesome. Like, I've never done this before, but it was fun.
There you have it, guys. It's a little bit more taste of our experience here. And, you know, I was kind of sad when that clip ended because I know it's the end. I wish, you know, there's just more to that clip and it would never end. Yeah, sad faces all around.
Wow, that tear was epically heartfelt. Heartfelt.
Yeah, we are, I mean, it's a little bit surreal because like literally they're starting to close down Gamescom all around us. You know, I'm seeing we've probably let out our last demo group here. This is the emptiest this room has been all weekend. Yeah. They're starting to, you know, actually turn off the machines and take down elements here. Our stage manager Marcus, one of the great guys here, he's actually like, you know, he's like, wrap it up guys, we got so much time, but he's, you know, I see the look in his eyes. He doesn't want it to end, but you know, it's coming to close here. I guess our camera guys are looking kind of tired here, but you know, big thanks to all the crew, you know, who helped us along this journey, helped us bring the, you know, first peek of the Command & Conquer Alpha play to you guys. Like I said, our stage manager Marcus, our director Andre, our technical dudes here, Andy, Jason Kokol, Jimmy Tran, who kept the booth running so well. Yeah. I don't know if you have any.
I just wanted to do a quick shout out to all the guys here that have been working the booth, that were hired. The guys that have been running the booth behind the scenes, along with all the development teams and the crew here from the production side and the dev team itself. We have The Sims, FIFA, you know, Need for Speed, Titanfall, Battlefield 4, all those guys and the great games that they make. I want to say thank you to that, and also to the C&C team, right? We can't forget them. Yeah. The guys back home. So I'm very proud to say that we represented hard. And I love the fact that we're a part of EA.
Yeah. So big thanks to Cameron, who's been managing kind of our social media and making sure that our American audiences can see the clips as well. Because like I said, we're on European time here, and believe it or not, we do need sleep at times, as exciting as this is.
And then one quick shout out to Eric Kraus, our community manager off to the side here. He's been running a lot of the show. I think he runs on 2 hours of sleep on a regular basis. I've never seen that before, and he's witty, smiling, and chipper all in one as the full package.
As witty and smiling as a German can be.
Exactly. I guess good point, right? Good point.
Well, cool. Hey, thank you guys. It's been a pleasure. Melonie, Jason. It's been quite a journey experience over these past 5 days, and like I said, hope to do more of it. I think there was a question in the Twitch chat. Will we be back at Gamescom 2014? You know, who knows? I hope so.
Me too.
And guys, literally the lights are coming up. It is time. It's been a blast. Like, from everyone we've mentioned, thank you for tuning in. Please continue to give us feedback. Like I said, at our official Twitter, official C&C, our Facebook channel, /Command & Conquer, our Twitch TV channel, /Command & Conquer. We're trying to make it as easy as possible for us to stay in touch, because we're going to miss you guys, but you can still reach us. So with that said, we're out, guys. Thank you so much.
Bye.
See you, Generals.